They gave it to Danny Green?
Danny Green. They gave it to Danny Green. Really? The guy who could not make a single fucking shot for this entire series. They gave it to Danny Green. Wow. I already recorded a video for this game, ahead of this game, about the Lakers winning it and what the Heat would be doing next once this game, or, for the coming seasons. But apparently I have to record 3 videos in 6 hours, and my voice is going to be gone by tomorrow, because the Miami Heat managed to pull this game off. I just released a video where I said the Heat were going to lose. So there you go. That aged poorly, just like everything else. That was a phenomenal game. Phenomenal game. It was better than Game 3. Definitely the best game of this series. Wow. I don't have notes because I wasn't anticipating this game really being noteworthy. And I wasn't really paying attention until the fourth quarter. Like, I was maybe playing a little bit of Minecraft. Not to flex or anything, but I kind of got a mansion. Anyways... this game was awesome, and the Lakers played awesome, and the Heat played awesome. This wasn't like, there's not a lot of notes to make because everyone just played good, and the Heat ended up playing slightly better. I like to have constructive things to say, but all I have to say is, A, they gave it to Danny Green, and B, that was awesome. Another thing I have to talk about right out of the jump, Jimmy goddamn Butler. Jimmy G Buckets. The G stands for gets. Oh my god. This guy, he's making me, like, he's a superstar. I've always teetered like he's pretty much the best player in the NBA that I don't consider a superstar. Like, he was right there for me, and I'm putting him in that conversation because only a superstar could do the things that Jimmy Butler has done in this finals, and only a superstar could do what he did in Game 3 and what he did in Game 5. That guy is a superstar. I wanted to pull up his stats here for the fourth quarter because he was great this entire game, and he was throwing some very good passes, but I wanted to see fourth quarter total points for him. This is going to take a second. I have to read all of it because the NBA's app is a piece of shit and doesn't have stuff ready right out of the jump. So Jimmy actually didn't score any points until the last 2 minutes of the game, but in the last 2 minutes, he made a pull-up jump shot at about 150, and that gave him 29 points, which means he scored 7 points in the last 2 minutes of that game. That's some superstar shit. This entire game, he was picking apart Miami's defense with his playmaking and with his mid-range jump shot. That guy's mid-range jumper, it's like not elite, but it's pretty much as close to elite as you can get without being elite. Just like for the longest time, I considered him as close as you can get to being a superstar without actually being a superstar. But fuck it, he's in this conversation now. So the title of this video is going to be something like, can the Miami Heat actually do this? And basically, well, are they going to actually manage to win this series? Because obviously after Game 4 it didn't look good because based on history outside of the Golden State Warriors in 2016, if a finals team goes up 3-1, that series is over. But the situation here is a little different because I think the bubble circumstance can lead to a lot of weird things. There's a whole lot of like question marks about everything in the bubble even after we've seen all of it. Like, weird shit can happen. That's a whole nother conversation, but like, I don't think a 3-1 lead in the bubble is maybe as significant as it is in a regular season, regular finals, because in a regular finals you have fans, you have home court, and being able to go against, in this situation, after Game 4, it would be, I believe, 2 Lakers opposing crowds and beating them both times. That would be a difficult-ass thing to do. But now, There's fucking Lakers fans cheering on a big ass screen at the side, and there's fake audio coming in from NBA 2K. Who gives a shit about that? So I do think home court not being a factor could actually be very advantageous in a 3-1 comeback. It's part of the reason why the Denver Nuggets managed to pull off 2 3-1 comebacks when we had not seen that from a team ever before. I do think that's a factor here, especially being that they were not home court advantage against the Clippers. But obviously, home court's not really a thing, so who fucking cares? So can the Miami Heat actually pull this off? Also, actually, one more note, because I do have a note that I have up here. Duncan Robinson. We have been waiting for the Duncan Robinson game for this entire playoffs. Like, we kept, like I've seen so many people say, and it's because he did it in the regular season all the time. Like, one of these days we're going to get a game from Duncan Robinson where he has like 9 3-pointers, and this one I believe he had 8. He was just knocking down shots left and right. I believe he got an and 1 3-pointer or 2. Jay Crowder also got an and 1 3. This game was also like heavy offense over defense. Like, the actual total score was not crazy. It was 111 to 108, but it was just a whole lot of buckets. Like, literally, Jimmy got 7 points in 2 minutes to close out that game. A lot of that was at the free throw line, by the way, but still, he was hitting those free throws. It was funny because they kept saying these are the biggest free throws of Jimmy Butler's career, like 3 different times, and then each time it progressively became the most important free throws of his career, and he made all of them. So that's something right there. Fucking clutch. But yeah, back to the topic that I was trying to head towards for a transition. These are unscripted, so it's a fucking mess. My brain is still scrambled because that game was amazing. Can the Miami Heat pull off a 3-1 comeback versus the Los Angeles Lakers? Well, not impossible. I think that's fair to say. Again, I'm making it a point that the factor of no home court advantage is a huge thing. Obviously, my pick is still the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm not wavering from that. And I actually picked the Lakers in 6 games, so if they won next game, I would be right about that, and one of my predictions would actually come true. But I don't think it's impossible for the Heat to come back and win this series, because really, when you think about it, because they won Game 3 without Bam and without Dragic, getting Bam means they're a much better team to what they were already performing at in Game 3. Obviously, that did not translate to a win in Game 4, but it did translate to a relatively close game, and Game 5, it resulted in a win. So Game 6, having Bam back, and maybe even having Dragic back, it could be a big factor. And Jimmy Butler has just been playing out of his mind to the point where I can't rule out anything. I could see him having another performance like this 2 more times in a row. I could definitely see that happening. So it's not impossible. As for some ways to do it, well, in this game, they weren't really locking up on defense like that. It more so came from their offense. I think a way to more confidently like ensure that they actually win more of these games is playing better defense. It's not like they necessarily played bad defense, but it was like not, like LeBron had shot like 70% in this game. Like, I made a video very earlier today about who would win Finals MVP, and I said it basically come down to this game if the Lakers won, and if the Lakers won, it would have been LeBron, because LeBron was amazing in this game. He couldn't miss from 3. He really couldn't miss from anywhere. And Anthony Davis, he didn't have a bad game. He was a little bit more passive. He had like 29, I think, but like 29 from Anthony Davis, 40 from LeBron. That's almost 70 points from 2 players. They came to play. They did everything they were supposed to, and it's not even like the Lakers role players were that bad, but for that final play, they sure as fuck were. Danny Green, Markieff Morris. I'm being attacked by burps. Markieff Morris. What the hell was that pass, dude? What the fuck was that pass? Danny Green, just the openest shot you could really hope to get. Just bricks it. But Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, I believe, last I remember, he had 18 points. Caruso was playing fine. Dwight Howard was getting in the head of some of Miami's players and playing all right. I mean, it was just all Miami just being amazing on offense. They were hitting their shots. Jimmy Butler was tearing apart Los Angeles' defense. So how they would win the rest of this series is the hot shooting from this game would continue. They would play better defense in the coming games, and ideally Goran Dragic comes back. if all those three things happened, I could definitely see them winning this series. Like, if Duncan Robinson has, like, flipped a switch and now he's going to be Duncan Robinson, best shooter this season, like he was this year, it was either him or, what's his name on the Wizards? Davis Bertans, because Curry and Clay obviously didn't play much this year. Curry didn't play like 20 games. Clay played none. So those are the two top guys in that conversation. Duncan Robinson, best shooter in the NBA at the moment. And he hadn't been that in the playoffs. I saw a graphic before this game. He was shooting 31% in the finals until this game, where he had 8 3-pointers. So if he can continue to knock down threes like that, his impact gets significant, because obviously when he's not hitting 3-pointers, he's not contributing all that much. He got a nice putback, not dunk, that was close enough to a dunk, and I'd say as an unathletic white guy, that counts as a dunk for us. But he's really not contributing outside of his 3-point shooting. But today, that 3-point shooting showed its value when it's working. And if it can work for the rest of this series, Tyler Hero can continue to have a good game. He had a pretty decent one here. The sky is the limit, and I think it's possible. Again, my bet is Lakers in 6. I thought Lakers in 5 just because of Game 4. I thought it would be demoralizing, but this Miami Heat team, you punch them and they get right back up and they punch you harder. And this team, even though they obviously haven't won a championship yet, they have the heart of a fucking champion, and they can roll with the punches with the best of them, even if they're not the most talented team out there. And that's admirable. And win, lose, or draw, which is a phrase that doesn't make sense in basketball because there is no draw. This isn't fucking hockey. But win, lose, or draw, I want to give Miami credit for making this a series in the first place, because after the first 2 games, it did not look good. A lot of people were calling this a sweep. I still said Heat in 5 because I figured they'd get 1. But they're making this a series. And win, lose, or draw, 1, it's admirable that they did that, and they deserve credit for doing that. And 2, thank you for making this series entertaining, because that was probably the best game that I've watched. This is the best game of the finals, and it's one of the best games I've watched in a while. One of the best of the playoffs. So shout out to the Heat for making this interesting. I'm going to go rest my voice now because I'm tired of fucking talking to this camera. Thanks for watching. Patreon, go watch my Uncharted video, all that stuff. Those are the top 2 links in the description and in the pinned comment. Yeah, that's the end of this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more NBA content like this, and cue the outro music.